Hey, Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, Matt Bevin gets his recanvass in the governor's race. It seems no change is in store for the UK football offense. And basketball legend and Hall of Famer Dan Issel joins me in studio. All that and more is next on Hey, Kentucky. Welcome into Hey, Kentucky alongside Grandpa Drew Franklin.
Yeah, I made a nice soup today. Thought I'd break out the sweater.
Puzzles? Yes? No?
Not yet. Wild night ahead.
Yeah, it's coming tonight, isn't it? All right, we begin with today's recanvass in the Kentucky governor's race. The process got underway this morning, and throughout the day, the Secretary of State's office received faxes from all 120 counties verifying the results in last week's election that saw Democrat Andy Beshear besting Matt Bevin by just over 5,000 votes. By mid-afternoon, Bevin realized the result would not change and finally conceded.
And I just want to be clear, we're going to have a change in the governorship based on the vote of the people. And what I want is to see the absolute best for Kentucky. I'm not going to contest these numbers that have come in. It isn't fair to throw that on our legislature to try to find something that there just isn't.
One of the Republican leaders who had pledged not to work with Andy Beshear ahead of the election took a different tone on Twitter today. Damon Thayer said he worked with Beshear's father on issues and is, quote, sure we can find some areas of common ground. Drew, today, after this is all over, there seems to be a real bipartisanship feeling now that we can just move on. I'm glad he conceded.
Yeah, me too, and I'm glad to see both sides looking like they're willing to work together. We'll see how long that lasts, but looks like Bevin didn't find the mysterious miscount he was looking for. I don't think anyone is surprised with that. There was just a last-ditch effort of hoping he could get something, but he eventually conceded.
So what happens first? The Democrats and Republicans work together on something, or Matt Bevin moves out of the state of Kentucky?
I'm actually interested to see how long it will take for him to move out. I assume he will, but I really have no idea. I just know that if he does, I'm going to go look into that house and get some answers. A Hey Kentucky special on the way.
All right. Of course, the big political news in Washington is yesterday's opening of public hearings in the impeachment inquiry of the U.S. House. As Senate Majority Leader, Kentucky's Mitch McConnell is keeping a close eye on those proceedings. With many of his GOP colleagues facing difficult re-election races, McConnell is warning them against making motions during the impeachment trial that could divide the party. There's also talk that some Republicans would hold a lengthy Senate trial that kicks off in January in order to keep some high-profile Democrats off the presidential campaign trail. Meanwhile, McConnell says the impeachment hearing is holding up action on key issues in Washington.
What I'd really like to see, as we've all emphasized here today, is all of the government's necessary business being put aside, apparently because one committee is having hearings. We need action. We need action on NDAA, action on funding the government, action on USMCA, as quickly as the House can do things.
And back here in the Bluegrass, activists are trying to pressure Senator McConnell to support the removal of the president. That's obviously not going to happen, Drew, but it is interesting to me that as much as the Republicans don't support this, that now they may try to drag it out so that Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, those people are not campaigning for president.
Yeah, that could very well work out. I think there's 6 candidates that are Democratic senators. I just hate that before the even trial, even though we're going to have one, they're already talking about we're going to intentionally stretch this out. That's not what's supposed to be done. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Democrats would do it too if the roles were flipped. I just hate that they're almost trying to weaponize this to mess with the election.
Of course, but it's good for Pete Buttigieg.
Yes, he'll benefit.
Right. Now we turn to sports, beginning with UK football. After the team's 13-point performance against Tennessee, most fans would describe their feelings on offense as frustrated. But that's not the sentiment from the offensive coaches and players ahead of Saturday's game against Vanderbilt. As they have before every game, Kentucky will install new schemes and formations to run through their offense, with Lynn Bowden taking snaps.
I think for the most part we're pretty good. You know, I don't think no one's pointing fingers. I just think everybody's ready to just get back out there and prove ourselves.
The great thing about it is that we've got 2 quarterbacks available, you know, and so it could be situational, you know, but we talk about it absolutely every Sunday, what that time is and when it's right.
And today we learned that Bowden is one of 4 finalists for the Paul Hornung Award given each year to college football's most versatile athlete. And if it's not Lynn Bowden, I don't know who it is, who else has played all the positions he has played this year. but I don't know how many new wrinkles you can come up with.
Yeah, luckily it's Vandy. They have a terrible defense. The Lynn Bowden plan should still work, but I know a lot of fans are asking for change, and if Gran's going to stick to the plan, it better work, because if they go down there and lose to Vandy without changing anything, he will be in trouble, and it will be deserved.
Especially for in other more situations where you got to get 1 or 2 yards and we can't do it.
Yes.
I just, that's what's frustrating.
Yeah, but to his credit, I mean, he had to completely change the playbook when Terry got hurt. They had over 300 yards offense. They still have to get into the end zone, but the plan has been moving the ball. Now let's take a step further and turn it into points.
There we go. Points. Points are good. All right, let's talk about Kentucky basketball. As the early signing period for 2020 recruits is underway, 4-star forward Cameron Fletcher was expected to put his name on the dotted line for Coach Cal this afternoon. He's ranked number 44 overall and was the second future Cat to announce his commitment. He was joined by 4-star forward Lance Ware. Before those signings, Terrence Clark sent in his paperwork to Kentucky. The 5-star shooting guard, top 5 prospect. All of UK's remaining targets with offers in the 2020 class are big men. Some of them to keep an eye on: Greg Brown, Isaiah Jackson, Cliff Omaruri. Is that right?
Good luck. I don't know that one either.
The final date for recruits to sign with a school is next Wednesday. Drew, they definitely still need a big man. As good as this class looks, they need a big man. They need one today, but next year for sure.
They need several. I think no matter what, Richards is gone, Montgomery's gone, and Stina has to be gone.
Yep.
So they have Ware. That's one. I think you still need 3 more. But the Terrence Clark signing his paperwork, he was the first one to put it in. That was big news the morning after losing to Evansville. That's an elite player, and he is signed, inked. He will be a Wildcat next fall. So that was a big deal.
And he seemed very excited about it. So that's good. This class is going to be top 3 as they all
top 1,
all
top
are.
2.
It might be top 1. Any of those other guys, do you know anything about? I honestly can't even say the last name.
BJ Boston's going to be good. They have great guards, great wings. It's the big men that's the problem.
Yeah.
But keep an eye on Terrence Clark. His mom said they picked Kentucky over Duke because Duke was for Carlton and her son's a Will Smith. I really liked that little shot at Duke. So
was really
Clark was a
awesome.
big get.
All right, now to our weekly feature on Hey Kentucky, What's the Beef? Brought to you by the Kentucky Beef Council. Tonight we return to the battle over revealing the names of investors in Brady Industries, which is partly owned by the state and plans to build an aluminum mill in Boyd County. A judge has again ordered the Bevin administration to release documents about investors, including some from Russia, but the state still has the option of fighting it in court. That's tonight's edition of What's the Beef? Up next on Hey Kentucky, I'll visit with legendary former Wildcat Dan Issel. He's in studio to talk about the ongoing effort to bring the NBA to Louisville, among other things. Stay with us.